So we're really getting deep into it, the fundamentals of evolution mentoring, and this one is really to me the most valuable and significant piece of evolution mentoring for so many people who I work with, which is really developing just deep, profound clarity about what it is you want and figuring out how you're going to get there. And this is what it's like, is to develop the clarity of thinking that's going to lead you to a far greater likelihood of having success in your life. And it goes like this: to know what you want and to ensure that what you want for the right reasons. And then to be open and flexible as to how you get there. So we have these two components. We have the what and we have the how, right? There's what you want, and then there's like, how in the world are you going to do it? What are the steps you're going to take to get there? And this is the big mistake. This piece I'm going to show you right now is the big mistake so many people make in their life is they do this. They invert them and they make how they get there so important to them that they'll do it even if it never gives them what it is that they want. And oftentimes they don't even realize that they're doing it. And this is what it looks like. Somebody goes, what I want to be in a happy, healthy relationship. Wonderful. You should. I hope you get there one day. Okay. And so they go, and the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to go find someone who's college educated, financially independent, athletic, funny, tall, dark, handsome, whatever. Okay. And they believe that if they find someone with all those character traits, that's going to give them a happy, healthy relationship. In fact, they won't even look at somebody who doesn't have a college degree or isn't financially independent. Okay. Or, it's not just it can go the other way too. I want, as long as she's sexy and independent and career oriented and loves to cook. And so they won't even look at somebody who doesn't meet all these criteria for them. Okay. And by doing that, they end up missing out on all these other people who they can wind up building a really amazing life together with. But no, it was so important that it had to be this way that they end up missing out. Okay. You see it in career. Like, I want to make a lot of money. This is one of the most common things that I hear. Okay. And, how do I want to do it? Well, I'm going to do it by working as an investment banker, and it's got to be in New York, and it's got to be for Citibank or for Goldman or whatever. And so they will do whatever it takes to get that job, work for that firm. And, their hope is, of course, if they get that job working for that firm in that particular place, that they're going to somehow, make all this money. And then everybody in the world is going to look at them and go, oh my God, you're so amazing and you're so wealthy. And they can think that by getting that job in that city or winding up with the person who has all those character traits is going to somehow give them what it is that they want. Okay. And the reality is, will it give them what they want if they have it exactly the way they've been dreaming about it? You know what? Maybe. But very often, in fact, when I speak to people who wind up on career paths that they're not happy with, that wind up in relationships that went south, that didn't go well, oftentimes they look back on it and they go, you know what? I was using the wrong criteria. I was so hung up, and it had to be my way or whatever, that it had to be a certain way, that I ended up missing all the signs that were telling me this is the wrong person or the wrong path for me. Because they put the how, how it has to be to get there, ahead of the what. Okay? And sometimes people will see the signs and they'll get all the evidence, but they're so hung up on it. They've been dreaming of it for so long. It has to be this way, or they so want to impress certain people in their life that they become extraordinarily stubborn and they refuse to change, or they become so inflexible about what it's going to take that they will stick with it until they're miserable and it's no longer working, or until their business shuts down, or whatever it is. So to become flexible is critical. To become really adaptive and open is so critical. It's like, be clear about what it is you want, but become so flexible about how to get there. And the more flexible you are, the more likely you are to get what you want in life. Okay? So you want to be mature about why you're choosing the things that you want, but ultimately become uncompromising about your values. This is something I've talked about before, is what if you decide, I'm building this business and I suddenly realize that the only way I'm going to get to where I want to get to would force me to have to make some decisions that are just not a person I want to be. And you become uncompromising. You go, in that case, I'm willing to go a different way. I'm not going to be so stubborn and attached. It has to be a particular way. And the more you do this, the greater the likelihood of you having tremendous success in your life, which is ultimately what I'm hoping people to get from evolution mentoring, is to build a life that they can be so happy to have lived. I'll share with you something personal because we're pretty far along in this series right now. For myself, when I was coming of age, the most important thing that I wanted was to do work that makes my life feel rich. And there really wasn't much else I wanted because I had had the experience to be doing stuff that when I was doing it, there was nothing else in the world that I wanted. And I said, I want to build my life doing work that makes me feel rich. And as I had some more life experiences, I also realized like I also want to wake up as many days as possible without an alarm clock. And I want to have as many days as possible. I look forward to the things I'm going to be doing that day. And I want as few days as possible that I have to wear a jacket and a tie. That was an awful job I had for a year doing that. And I want to interact with as many cool people as I possibly can in my life. Okay. And I never want to give up being playful and spontaneous. I really want to be able to dress the way I want to dress and live the life that I want to live. But ultimately, not if it means that I can't do work that's going to make my life feel rich. Like that was the most important thing to me. And so I've built a life and I found a way, knowing that that's what I want. I found a way to be able to do it. And I had this kind of really cool moment last summer. I take my daughter to a baseball game with me. She was 12 in this picture. And at one point in the game, she kind of looks at me. She's kind of looking around the stadium and she looks at me and she goes, Dad, it's really kind of weird, like to be in a place where like everybody dresses like you. And I laughed at it, right? Because she's not used to seeing like an adult man, wearing all the different colors and all the different things that I wear, or whatever. But I go, it's what I've always wanted, is to be able to live a life where I can be like this. And when I ultimately realized that the deepest thing, what I wanted was to live a life that I can be happy to have lived. And if that meant one day that I'd have to start waking up to an alarm clock or that I have to give up certain things in my life that were on that first list, I'd give them all up. Because the most important thing for me is when I lay my head on my pillow at night and ultimately when I'm at the end of my life and I'm about to take my last breath, can I look back and go, I'm happy with the life that I lived, even though it wasn't always easy and had to make difficult choices. I did it. And that's the thing that I hope for you and that I hope this program is going to help you to be able to do, is to really, truly live a life that's going to be deeply satisfying, fulfilling, that you'll be happy to have lived. So I hope you're enjoying and learning more about this as you decide to make a decision to dive into one of these evolution mentoring courses. And we help you for yourself get tremendous clarity about what it is you want and then help you figure out how you're going to get there and help free you from all the ways in which you're stuck right now that's actually going to keep you from getting there so that you can ultimately get the life you want